Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. Here we go. Another day. Another day on this crazy ass United States soil. That, is just what it is, I guess, sometimes. But hello, everybody. So now, as the news comes out, the United States is now control of Venezuela's oil. Oh, shit. I'm not shocked. This wasn't about Venezuelan president at all. It was about the oil. And I've said it before, this is just a play, just like Russia made in Ukraine, or just like China wants to make in Taiwan. Nothing's really changed. Everything's still the same. Our government's still the same. But have you thought about this? Especially under the mega. If you were to say no to President Trump, it's like saying no to God. Isn't that interesting? So, you ever heard the term the devil incarnate? It describes the devil in the flesh, is what it does. It refers to an extremely wicked person who embodies the spirit and characteristics of the devil in human form. Interesting. The word incarnate comes from the Latin word incarnatus, meaning made flesh. In the KJV, while in the spectrum phase, a specific phase, devil incarnate does not appear. Scripture warns of those who follow the devil's nature. Here's the scripture that actually warns it. Ye are of the father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. That's John 8:44. Amen on that. That is Donald Trump, buddy, and everybody that serves underneath him. Again, not everybody actually understands that, but it is what it is, right? We are in that scenario right now. But, I've been reading a few news stories this morning, but the one that caught my eye was we are now in control of Venezuela oil. Of course, we're in control of Venezuela oil. That is what the intent of this was. Of course, we killed civilians in the process. I've read that news too, sadly. Civilians had to fall for Donald Trump's greed and the United States' stupidity. Because anybody that follows this man you are is stupid. I'm very sorry, you're stupid. You have no common sense, no education, no nothing. Not even no foresight to actually see what's happening in front of you. That's what's funny. I don't know how you can just avoid anything that's blatantly obvious with this president. He is just bad, 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 bad. Not a good person, nor even close to a good person. I thought Trump 1.0 was bad. Trump 2.0 is way worse. We are in a situation to where we are falling fast. The country is falling fast. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. We're not just falling fast, we're like falling quickly. And that is the God's honest truth. We are dying quickly. And I don't even know what else to say about it. How do we overcome the scenario we're in? I don't know. I had faith at one point that people would be smart enough. And, sometimes when you're looking back and you're thinking, man, I know people are going to be smart enough to see this. People should be able to see right through this man's bullshit. And then millions of fucking people prove me wrong. Not a few hundred, millions of people prove me wrong. I understand, again, the Republican side of it. They want their party to be the one that's in control. I get you. But again, I challenge anybody out there. I challenge anybody out there. Here's the challenge. Show me one Republican that's ever been elected president that had our country in a surplus. Just show me one. That's the challenge. Show me one. You show me one Republican president that did it, I'll buy you dinner, buddy. But just so you know, you ain't gonna win. I mean, you can put somebody out there, but it's probably not going to be a fact. You just make up a name or something, but it won't be a fact. The history is Republicans have never actually saved the country money, and they've always attacked lower income people. And I don't even know why, because us lower income people actually outnumber everybody else, yet we sit here and stand for it. I've got an uncle. I've got cousins. I've got a bunch of stupid people. Only one of them makes some money. You know, they do all right, I guess, but they're not on the Trump level of you can get a tax break because you ain't at $12 million a year, buddy. For a matter of fact, not really nobody's at $12 million a year except that handful of rich people out there. So we decide to, because these people are part of my Republican Party, I'm just going to follow them along like a damn lapdog without actually questioning anything or looking at anything or you know other things that we should be doing. They just follow along like a lapdog. I'm just happy. Which way did he go? Okay, I'm right behind him. You know, it's crazy to me. Again, crazy. But I thought I'd seen it all, but the longer I'm around here, the more I see. I guess that's the crazy part of life. The longer I'm around, the more I see. It's fascinating, fascinating. You know, I guess on the plus side, for the most part, I run into a lot of people that understand that Trump is trouble, but you guys probably don't grasp how much trouble he is. Russia and China already said that they would stand with Venezuela. Now Trump's threatened Russia and China both. You don't get the gravity of this. This man is going to start World War III. He's going to. You know, if you don't believe that, there's really something wrong with you. Because he's pushing for it every day. And of course, you know, maybe what he'll try to do is get us out of the UN before it starts. That way we're screwed. That way we got more than one country coming at us and we're by ourselves. Mark my words. If he ever gets us out of the UN, that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody's coming after us. I got you. We'll all be tripping on the fact that this man's coming after us. It's and it's a shame. You know, no matter how you look at stuff, it's a shame. I suggest y'all again share this little podcast and maybe get the word out so people understand what's happening. You know, Trump is not religious. He's not. He's got the religious people fooled, but he's not religious. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He is the devil himself, in my mind. He is the Antichrist. He is all the things the Bible has warned us is coming, and it looks like it's finally here. He will be the downfall of the United States. We have not got him in check, and the Republicans want to fucking make sure that we can't get no Democratic government up there to put him in check. They want to make sure that he continues to destroy the United States. This is the goal of the mega Republican Party. Let it dismantle the United States. And they are doing a well job of it. Because now, you know, DEI has gone out the window. Of course, you know, I understand why DEI exists. It's kind of like what I said the last stream. You know, Chinese Americans, African Americans, Mexican Americans, actually they were all born here. They're just Americans. I haven't been over into Europe to. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, he's a African Europe or an African Chinese." Or, I've never really heard those terms in Europe. Everybody's Europe. If you're born in Europe, you're European. So we are still holding that racism high. We've decided to beat up on women's rights at the same time, and I can't believe so many people are just sitting back and watching it instead of saying something about it or doing something about it. But hey, that happens. You get a few people like me. Again, I don't have no big following. It's not like I got a million people that listen to me. I don't. I probably got about 13 or 14 subscribers. It's okay. I come speak my piece anyways. I got to speak what's on my mind. I'm only going to be alive for so long. You know, and I guess if anything, after I'm gone, my grandkids can come back and listen to this. Although I hope they wait till they're teenagers because my language isn't actually that great. But it's just one of those things. It's just me leaving something for somebody else to come back and listen to. There is no logic to the way people are thinking in the United States anymore. We are the laughing stock of the world right now. We have a convicted felon as the president. Don't worry, every country's laughing about that alone. And no, it's not a rigged charge. It's not fake. He's a felon. He's convicted felon. He's, needs to be in prison where he needs to be. He should be serving time. And most of you poor people out there that that are supporting Trump, make no mistake. If it was you, your ass was be buried in that prison pretty fucking deep. You wouldn't be out free roaming around, and don't worry, Donald Trump wouldn't pardon your ass neither, unless you went to the fucking the Capitol building and tried to destroy it in the name of keeping Donald Trump as president. So now this next one is they're toying with the third term. I'm sorry, but the Constitution actually forbids a third term. I don't care how the Republicans want to actually twist it. This is the problem with our government now. They want to twist it. Now, if this was a Democrat that served one term and came back and didn't win and then came back and ran again, they'd be all up in arms. Oh, no, you can't go again because, we have a Constitution that says this. But because it's a Republican, the dumbasses will say, oh, no, it's okay. He didn't serve this back to back. I guarantee you, if this was a Democrat that was trying to do that, they would start hollering, you can't do that. The Constitution says no. But in that case, it's not serving their purpose, so they'll say opposite. So what we should do is look for a really good Democratic president that didn't get to serve 2 terms in a row and have him run against Donald Trump. Because he has the right to run against Donald Trump. Why not? I'd like some suggestions if anybody's got them. Let's think about Democratic presidents that didn't serve 2 terms. That we would prefer to come run against Donald Trump. Because guess what? If Donald Trump can run again, so can they. Keep this in mind. They're setting precedents. Us invading the country without congressional consent, they're setting precedent. Because we can't actually do that. But it's funny how all this now becomes okay because Donald Trump did. Donald Trump, the uneducated, dodge drafting piece of shit that sits up in the White House, felon, sex offender, because he is a sex offender, don't worry. He's settled enough sexual assault allegations out of court. He's a sex offender, he knows it. He's a pedophile, he knows it. I know it. His wife, shame on you, bitch. You married him for money. That was it. I can tell how you interact with him and, coming off planes, he's trying to hold your hand, you push him, but well, you got married for money only. You have no morals and no class as, a woman. That's the fact. You just been over for money. Of course, why don't you just come out and tell everybody how tiny Donald Trump's pee-pee is, because he ain't got one. He carries a chip on his shoulder because he ain't got no dick. Think about it. But anyways, I'm, just wanted to go over some of the things I've read today. And, my thoughts on it. This is just my thoughts on it. And I started off with, explaining the devil incarnate, which is Donald Trump. And everybody that serves Donald Trump or his little demonic minions, And we need to get rid of them, all of them, and then try them all, convict them all, put them underneath the prison, and forget that they ever existed. It's going to take years, decades. If we get lucky enough to get rid of Trump, it'll take decades to repair our reputation in the United States. You know, the Arkansas governor that said, "Oh, our president goes and gets shit done." You a dumbass too, buddy. You might as well. I mean, okay, I don't know what you look like, but I can imagine that you got Trump's dick in your ass or in your throat right now, one of the two, without really paying enough attention to. He violated the Constitution, didn't go through the proper channels, invaded a country, committed a war crime for oil. So you're over there in Arkansas trying to praise a man because we want to go take somebody's oil. Because trust me, it has nothing else to do with nothing else but that oil. Don't worry. They sat on one of the largest oil reserves, even more larger than ours. And Donald Trump wants that in his hand, just like this. You know, and big, beautiful, clean coal. Coal's not clean. Oil's not clean. You know, so most of the wind power we had going and clean energy we had going, he destroyed it. Do you understand, you know, in the whole that the man is trying to destroy the world, the country, and everything else? Do you not get it? I mean, I understand. Okay, the devil's not stupid. He's got his part to play. He still knows in the end he's going to lose. The problem is, in the end, all you stupid ass Christians that thought he was God or God sent are going to fall with him. That's the great part about this. I'm sorry, but it just is the great part about that, because you couldn't sit down and use common sense and understand the man's a criminal, the man's a pedophile, the man's an adulterer, the man's a liar. I mean, there's just this whole list of things. He's a con man. He's cheated people with a charity and a university, fake university. So he's a con man. And you guys are just lapping it up. It's almost like you're sitting there licking on his dick. I'm sorry, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I mean, you know, well, I don't know if you're licking on his dick. You probably can't find his fucking dick, but I guess you've got the microscope out and you're looking for the tiny motherfucker and still licking it. But either way it goes, you know, I'm just fascinated with all the crap that's happened. You know, I wish I could say more, but I can't really say more. I just want to do this short little podcast today. You know, I appreciate you. If you listen to my podcast, I appreciate you. I deeply appreciate you. Uh, you know, I hope you keep listening. You got some questions or comments, you got to want to say something, you know, leave some messages. I'll try to go back and find them. I'm still learning my way around YouTube and streaming and stuff, but I'll get it eventually. You know, I can learn anything. Just got to take some time to sit down and figure it all out. Once I figure it all out, we'll be good. But you know, again, I appreciate everybody coming to listen to me chat. Thanks for coming to Frank's Corner. You know, God bless you all. Pay attention to the devil that's in office. Save your soul above all. Don't get caught up in his evilness, because he is just evil. You know, peace out. Love you all. Be safe. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.